Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley Albinqali. I am an EVO 200 double gold consultant with Archer and Evolution. Today, I'm going to be the host for the training of identifying lookers and bookers. Now, before we get started, just a little bit more about me because I feel like you guys should know who I am. Now, normally I have my camera on, but for some reason, my computer no longer connects it. I don't know why, but here we are. All right. So, this is technically what I look like. But anyways, like I said, my name is Ashley. So I've been with Evolution Archer for over a year and a half. I am a top presenter, leader, travel slash mentorship trainer. I specialize in marketing, mentoring, and destination weddings. I love, love, love to learn about different niches. There's so many cool niches out there, and I like to learn about how to market them, like breaking them down, etc. And as well, as always, I'm here if you guys ever need help. Most of you guys know my inbox by now on Facebook. Go ahead and send me a message. If you guys need help with anything, if I don't know the answer, I will find out for you. But I love to help and mentor. So please feel free to reach out to me if you guys need help with anything. All right. Now, let's get started with the training. So, a little bit of an overview for today of what we're going to be talking about. I know a lot of you guys in here might be new or you might be seasoned, but one of the most annoying things that we deal with is people who just want to look. They want us to find prices. And it can be very frustrating, especially as a new agent, because I've been there. When I first started, my brother sent me on an 8-hour Disney trip search, and he never booked, and I was devastated, right? And I know how that feels. So when I started, getting seasoned and getting in there, I was like, we have to tell people how to not do this because that can be very, disheartening to experience when you're brand new. So let's learn about how to identify them, right? The basic qualifications, how to identify lookers, the questions to qualify the lookers, okay? And then how to identify bookers. Yes, I made that up, by the way. Lookers and bookers, that's not a real thing, okay? And then closing the sell, and then how to prevent that time loss in between that, okay? I'm going to teach you guys a little bit about, charging fees. We're going to talk about that because there's so many different ways that you guys can still get paid for doing that kind of research, okay? Even if they are a looker, okay, fine, but let's get paid for it, right? So let's get into it. All right, so we should all know the basic qualifications. If you guys remember elementary school, when, where, who, why, remember those? Okay, they still apply till today, especially when you're in a travel agency, all right? Let's talk about the basic qualifications of a trip. When are they going? Okay. Is it seasonal? Is it going to be like during Christmas time? Are they flexible with their dates? They have to be at this specific date? Is it during holiday? Right? Many things to qualify when these questions because let's just say, for example, they want to go on a cruise in September. Okay. What do we know? Hurricane season, right? That's still technically a season, I guess. But hurricane season is a big deal. So, do we want to send them to certain areas on a cruise? No. So, it's important that we ask these kind of questions. Where? What type of travel do they want to do? They want to do cruises, all inclusive. Do they just want to get a weekend getaway to Las Vegas? Right? If it's international, you got to start thinking about passports. If there's a visa, if there's taxes, anything like that. And then think about the restrictions, right? Ever since COVID happened, the world changes drastically. Okay. One minute it could be okay to go somewhere, and the next minute you shouldn't go there at all. So we need to know where they are going, exactly where they want to go, kind of in a way, so we can check those kind of restrictions, right? So next one, who? How many people? All right. Group, if it's a group request, their ages, that's a big one, right? Because ages can make a price difference. Sometimes they have kids stay free, stuff like that. And if they have any accessibility needs, okay, one of my first bookings, the guy had to have an outside seat because he couldn't sit down very long in like a closed area because he's handicapped. That's something that's very important, right? It seems like a minor detail to you or me who might not have this issue, but to somebody who has that kind of need, you have to listen to that, right? And then, of course, next is why. Why do they want to book this? Special occasions, they open to more possibilities. So I like to ask them, well, why are you going on this trip? Maybe they're going for a honeymoon. If they're going for a honeymoon, I'm about to add all these kind of excursions and different favors and things that I can do. Maybe call the hotel and say, hey, let's send a bouquet of flowers and some champagne. Like there's so many more possibilities by just asking simple questions to get to know them better and to see what kind of trip they want. All right. Now, these are the basic qualifications. We're going to get more in depth, but you have to start with these in order to get anywhere further and to see who actually wants to book and who's just looking. Right. Next one. Example of lookers. Now, feel free to write in the chat if you have ever run into any of these. Okay. So these are the ones that I've ran into. There's way more, but this is common things that they say. I'm checking prices. How many of you guys have had people that just want to check prices? Ugh, I can't, like that drives me crazy. I am not a price checker. Okay. Maybe with the fee, I could be a price checker. I don't really have a budget in mind. That's not true. Everybody has a budget in mind. Not even maybe a big, like detailed budget, but everybody has somewhere along the lines where I'm not going to pay more than $10,000 for this, right? Something like that. We're not really sure on the dates. That one can go either way, right? But somebody who's not sure what dates they want to go on are probably not very serious about their vacation because I don't know about you. I know we're planners, but when I'm going, I'm about to find the times I can take off and I'm going to put them out, for searching. I'm not going to just pick random dates. This one, I know we get this one a lot. I found this online and want to see if you could get it cheaper. Ah, yeah, that could go either way because sometimes we can. But I always tell new agents, people don't book with us because of a booking. They book with us because of customer service. Yeah, we might be able to save them a little bit of money, right? That'd be great. But it's what we deliver with that booking that's what they're paying for. Because, if they book with Expedia, all right, call the 800 number, have a great day. They're not there for that. They want us to, take care of them. So if they want to find prices online, well, you might have a little bit of comparison. That's fine. But make sure you tell them while you're booking with an agent and not with Expedia. All right. I don't know where I want to go. Can you look for me? Ooh, this one, this one opens a whole pathway to a very big ocean of searching, right? At least if they hit you with this one, try to get them like, do you want to go to the Caribbean? Do you want to just go to Mexico? Like, be a little bit more specific, you know? And then the last one is normally with our family and friends. Can you get me some deals? Yeah, maybe. But is that why you're booking? Right? Oh, somebody wrote in the chat. The only clients I currently have are guests that have never been or haven't been to Walt Disney World recently. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, well, so if you know that, right, and you have people on there that, hey, they haven't been, that would be a really good way for you to market. Share information about Disney. Okay. And that'll help turn some of those lookers into bookers because they can see that you are knowledgeable. So it works out. But it's good when you get groups of different people who want to book the same thing. It kind of helps you focus on something. All right. So let's go to the next one here. Questions to qualify. Now, we just went over the basic questions, but we got to get a little bit more in depth in this, right? So, have you worked with another agency or have points to use? Now, I know these are totally two different things, but I needed to fit it all in one slide. Okay, so we're going to break it down with the first one. Have you worked with another agency or if they're currently working with another agency? This is important for you guys to know because sometimes they will have super secret deals that we don't have access to. And then what they do is they just send you the deal and they don't tell you, oh, well, I used all of my AAA points to get this, or I went to Sam's Club and got their vacation deal. They don't tell you that part. So you always want to find out if they hit you with one of those really low deals. I've seen one where they sent me a voucher and they were like, oh, I can go to Mexico for like 150 bucks. Yeah, that's a hotel voucher. I can give you a hotel voucher, but I can't get that because it's a voucher, right? So don't immediately get nervous when you see a lower price that's so more drastic than ours. There's a reason for it. They're probably using their Delta Sky Miles that they didn't tell you about, or they put their VFP number into their Carnival Cruise Line. Okay. So consider that. Oh, no worry. Welcome, Laura. So consider that when you guys first get those pricings, or that they send you something and it's kind of overwhelming, ask them, where did you get that from? Who are you working with? Okay. So if that happens and you now see, hey, I'm competing with this person, that person, Now it's time to use those things that you have, the tools you have, the customer service you have. The response time, guys, I've seen a lot of groups of travel. 90% of the problem that they have with travel agents is because they're delayed in response. Because we hit them with we'll give you 72 hours, right? If you're on the ball and you're like, hey, I got you, like I might not be able to beat your price, but I can match it, but let me go ahead and take care of it for you. You will have a way better advantage of closing that deal than just saying, yeah, give me 72 hours and I'll find something for you, right? So it could be either way for that one, to be honest, right? Next one. What is your budget? All clients have an ideal budget. See if there's any flexibility. Now, if they sit here and tell you they want the cheapest flight, the cheapest this and cheapest that, then you can tell that they might not be honest with their budget, but they definitely have some kind of budget, right? I've had clients that where, oh, I don't care. I just want to spend a maximum of $10,000. Do whatever you need to within that. Okay, that works great too, right? So you really need to talk to your client and kind of see where they're at before you even start searching, because the worst thing that you could do is share 3 quotes that are out of their budget. That's the worst thing you could do, because now you just look like you didn't even listen to them in the beginning. So if they tell you, oh, I don't have a budget, okay, fine, but what's the maximum you're looking to spend? Like where do you want to max out at? How much room do I have to play with today? Is what I would say, something like that, right? Do you have a place, time, or people narrowed down, right? If they're one of those, I just want to go to the Caribbean on a cruise. I don't really know when I want to go, somewhere sometime in the fall. Okay. That's going to be really hard, especially if you're a new agent to find. Now, us seasoned people, all right, we're going to pull out 3, 4 dates, send it to them. But a new agent is going to feel very, very overwhelmed with that because they probably never even used Carnival before, so they don't even know where to go, right? So, as an agent, if you're brand new, ask them, okay, well, where do you want to go exactly on your cruise? Where do you want to go in the Mexico? What exactly a time frame? What's the month? At least get a month, right? What month do you want to go? How many people are going? Oh, I think like, 3, 4 people, and then my cousin Betty and Sue might attach with us. Okay, well, I'm going to give you the price for this. And, I can give you the options of adding them on, but we're going to focus on the people that we know now. Okay. Especially when it comes to groups. I book destination weddings. So I'm used to big groups. I go with the people that I know are going. If you want to add Timmy and Bob and whoever else later, that's great. We can add them later. But right now, we're going to focus on what we have. That will make your life a lot easier instead of thinking, oh, I might have to book 50 people. You might, but I can tell you one thing about group bookings. And if you are a seasoned agent, everybody that says they're going to go, when the time comes for the money to pay out, oh, they ain't going. Oh, they didn't go. I know, I've seen it so many times. Okay. So don't overwhelm yourself if they tell you they got a big group. There's a possibility quite a few aren't going to go. So just focus on what you already have. Okay. If I find anything, ask them this. If I can find anything that you were looking for, can you put a deposit down or make a booking within 3 days? This is your deal breaker right here. Okay. This question right here can help you decide right then and there if they're a looker or a booker. Most people who are ready to book their vacations have their deposit in hand. And our deposits, guys, I've seen them 100, 200. Most I've really ever seen in a deposit was like 6, 700 because it was more than 2 months out, right? But the deposits aren't that bad. And if they're really planning on booking a trip, they're going to be able to put down at least a deposit. Some of them might pay in full. Okay. Now, why I put make a booking within 3 days? Recently, I have a new agent who was working with a client, and the client was very undecisive. Okay. And she kept telling her, hey, you need to book this. You need to book this. Guys, the flights were changing within the hour. The prices was rising. I mean, it was just going and going. And she kept emphasizing to her, you need to put a deposit down at least because I can't reserve this without a deposit. Right. That's why we say that. Because within the 3 days, it may change a few $100s, but anything after that, I can't promise you. And I always put, especially whenever I give a quote, this prices might change. They might change. I don't even put a time frame in it because those prices can change, especially for flights within the hour. So hold on, you need to book it. If you want it right now, you need to put it on there. Okay. If they are undecisive and they still don't want to do a deposit, don't do a booking, just like I told her, do 3 quotes, push it out. And then if they want anything more, make sure you charge them a fee if you didn't already charge them one. Okay. Don't sit here and keep producing these quotes for these people and they're not paying you for it. You're doing what they're too lazy to do. And that's great because that's what we want to do, right? Thank you. We'll do the service for you. But make sure you're getting paid and not just being overworked. Okay. Next one. So, example of qualifying. I told you guys I got some screenshots for you. My Zoom bar is in the way, so I might have to move it halfway through. All right. So this was actually a message I sent to my aunt. She's actually a client of mine, and it's funny because we're very distant family, so she's really just not really my aunt, but she is related to me. All right. So my message is a little bit sweeter than and a little bit more relaxed than my usual one, but I think it's a good example of qualifying, so that's why I shared it. All right. So I said, "Good morning. Hope all is well. Following up to get some specifics for your trip." So I've already talked to her and now I'm qualifying her right here. All right. "Any specific dates in September? How long is the group booking to go? Oh, the group looking to go. Sorry, I said booking. Were you needing a full package or just tours?" So I actually ended up booking a tour trip to Ireland for her, and it was like 10 days. Okay. But this is where we're going. "What parts of Ireland are you looking to visit? In the group, are there adults and children?" That's the price difference. We got to know that kind of stuff, right? Finally, "What is the budget looking like per person so I can get an idea where to look?" Now, per person helps in groups because a lot of people don't want to spend the same amount as everybody else. So if we can get a rough idea of what one person may spend, it gives me an idea of where to start. Okay. "Thank you for reaching out to me. I appreciate the support and look forward to helping you." So I always put the appreciate the support because I'm not very close with my family and I'm so thankful. But if somebody in my family reaches out, that means a lot to me. Yeah, I get regular clients, but to see some family to support you, that feels good. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoyed booking that trip. Now, listen, the things that I covered in the qualifying, the date, I said when. Okay, I put it twice, whatever. Specific booking requests, where, how many, right? And then the budget. So I qualified those right there in a nice text or message, whatever it was, but it wasn't too businessy, right? I broke it down. I kind of shared the info of what I needed, and it's very easy to do. Now, if I didn't do this and I started looking for Ireland trips, guys, I would have missed it. If I just went out there and started looking for Ireland trips, because come to find out, most of where she was going in Ireland wasn't on the original tours that I was looking up. Where was I at? I think I was in Exotica, and they were not there. I had to go to a different tour group, completely different. It was like Brendan Vacations. I didn't even know that existed, but that's the kind of importance of qualifying. Simple message can save you hours of research. Okay. Now, how to identify bookers. This is good. Okay. If you get somebody that knows exactly what they want, or at least a very close idea, spend some time on them. If they are someone who you can tell they've been on a vacation, right? They know their budget. If they know exactly what their budget is, try to meet within it or try to get below it if you can and still make some good commission. Understanding of your time and fees, if any. I love when a client comes to me and they go, "Okay, so what's your research charge?" That means to me that you already know that you value my time and you know that it's going to cost a little bit to work with me and you respect that. Now, if somebody comes to you and they don't want to pay it, don't work with them. Why would you want to work with somebody who doesn't respect your time? Right? And yeah, you might make some commission. If it's a simple booking, I don't normally charge research fees unless I feel like you're going to be one of those clients that are going to drive me up the wall. Right? Now, when it comes to destination weddings, oh, we charge fees. Ooh, we charge fees there. That's different. Okay. But a regular booking, I might not. But if they ask me, I'm gonna really respect that. And I probably won't charge them. I'll probably give them a voucher just because they respect me, honestly. All right. They know who is going and how many rooms. That helps a ton because then I can break down the booking. They have a purpose for the trip. In other words, they're going whether you book it or not. That's good. That means that they are not just looking. At this point, they're gonna go. So let's go help them. All right. They have a vivid description of what they want to experience. And then I can't see the bottom of this. Why can't I see the bottom? Hold on. That's going to drive me crazy. There you go. And if they have traveled before is a plus. Okay. So those are the type of things that you're going to want to look for when you're looking to see who wants to book. If they come with this, I promise you there's a good chance they're going to book. Now, It's going to take you as an agent to do the proper research to make sure that you meet their needs. Just because they have these qualifications doesn't guarantee it. There's a part where you have to follow through. Okay. Like I said a minute ago, response time is one of the biggest issues they have with travel agents. Okay. We get delayed in our responses because life is crazy. I know. I had a flat tire this morning. I've never had a flat tire in my entire life. I understand. But make sure you put your clients as a priority, because you and your own self, and you can hinder yourself as an agent by not putting these bookings a priority. But you have to be able to determine what booking to prioritize. Okay. Don't sit here and spend 3 hours looking for flights for somebody. Don't do that. And if you do, you better get paid for it. Okay. I'm trying to save you guys. I'm trying to save. All right. So let's play this one. Now, these are two of the clients that I've had in the past, and one of them booked and one of them didn't. Sarah, so Sarah says, how long do you spend on a normal quote for somebody? I think I've spent way too long. Sarah, if you think you've spent way too long, you probably have, sweetheart. It really depends. So first, it's going to depend on the trip, right? If it's going to be a big, massive trip, then I probably will spend a few hours on it. If it's something I can't really understand, I'll get my mentor to help, because I'm not afraid to ask for help. I've been here for a year and a half, but that doesn't mean I know every part of travel, right? Um, but for me, I think I would really determine how much time I would spend. It would be depending on how much the commission potential is. If I see that it's going to pay out in the long run and I'm going to make my money's worth, then I don't mind spending the time. But if I'm getting a client that's indecisive, doesn't know their budget, wants to stay at the cheapest hotel, the cheapest flight, blah, 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 well, we're not going to make any money, then I'm going to produce 3 quotes. Here it is. Take it or leave it. Okay. Now, does that always work? No, but it's going to be client based. It's going to be depending on each one. It really does. Okay. But if you think you've spent too much time, then more than likely you probably have. And that's okay. It happens when you're brand new. It's going to happen when you start anywhere brand new, right? So learn from that, and then kind of take this training. And then when you get your next client, pay attention to the red flags, right? If you notice, hey, I'm spending way too much time on this, focus on something else. And then just produce what you can, right? Give it your best, but don't overthink it. Okay. So first one on the left says, hey girl, I messaged you on Snap, but I'm in a panic. Is our date sold out? It's not showing on the website anymore. Just kidding. I didn't scroll to see it. I said, oh, let me look. Now, mind you, this is one of my, this is a girl I worked with one day in the back in the day. Okay. I'm not seeing the May one, but I see the June one first, which is fine. I said, I sent you my number just in case. I'm looking now. It didn't seem sold yesterday. And then I sent her the mscbook.com, which is going to show the cruise that she was looking for. Okay. Now, based off of this, put in the chat. Do you think she booked with me, or do you think she's a looker? Let me know in the chat what you guys think. All right. We got booked, looker. Anybody else? Looker, looker, looker. Y'all don't see the urgency in that one? Oh, well, we got looker, looker, looker. Guys, it's in the planning phases. She actually booked. That was my first MSC when I first started. That's how old this message is. She did. She booked. She was freaking out because she thought her cruise sold out. And I said, oh my God, you need to get on that cruise right now. You're right. It is selling out. Quick. We need to get on it. Was it selling out? No. She's put thumbs up, right? That's the urgency. You sense that urgency right there? Oh, absolutely, man. Let me get the cruise right now. Can you believe it? I actually sat down. I got that cruise price right then and there. And I sent it right to her, right? All right, now let's look at the next one. Obviously, the other one's a looker, right? I already told you. You have a Europe package. There's a very, very bland message. Oh my God, do you have a Europe package? For what? Okay. I was like, what are you trying to do there? I couldn't put anything together. We have tours and such. And then it was just want to visit my family members and friends, not at the moment, but later, and do some sightseeing with my girl. I said, oh, yes, I can do that. And then they said, just to have a little idea about sightseeing, Switzerland, Italy, France, and Norway. Do you read my message under there? I said, okay, yes, we can do that. When you're ready to book, let me know. Do you see how he's that it was a guy. Do you see how he's looking? Mm-mm. He doesn't even know when he wants to go. Okay, well, when you're ready, let me know. And you're going to run into a lot of these. I could tell from the beginning, one, because I've been here for a while, but I could tell from the beginning because he's a Europe package. Like, what do you mean? Right? This is somebody who's just looking to see where they can go. And that's great. If you want to pay me $25, that's how much I charge for my little quotes. You want to pay me $25 for free quotes, I'll send it to you. But until you have an exact date, and yeah, he's got some cities in there, and that's fine. But like, he just wants to do a bunch of hotels. Like, do you want to do a tour? Like, he didn't have any details. Okay. So, does that make sense why I said, does everybody understand why I was like, okay, well, when you're ready, let me know? Does everybody understand how that is a looker? And he did not book this, by the way. He has booked with me before. I don't know him. He's just somebody that has come across my business. So he is a repeat client. But at that moment, oh no, he was looking. Don't waste your time doing that. All right. So those are some examples. No, I'm 25. I charge $25 for free quotes. There's a really good training by Jody Warinsky. She does how I booked $1 million in travel sales within a year. And she goes over that very, very high. Just look her up on YouTube, Jody Warinsky. And she's the one who originally taught me about the $25. Now she charges $100 because she's way more advanced, obviously, with $1 million in sales. But I started with 25, and that happened after I got burned 3 or 4 times, and I said, "No, doing that again." How about this? When we get done, I'll send you the YouTube because I have it. Okay. And I saw a question in here. Hold on, let me scroll up real quick. If they keep asking questions and want dates that is less than a month away, but dragging their feet, then what do you do? Well, Victoria, I think you already answered your question. If it's less than a month away, first of all, have y'all ever done a 21-day booking form? Those are annoying. You have to get the front of their ID, you have to get their front of their credit card, right? And then you just let them know, hey, it seems like you're not ready to book. Let me know when you're ready, right? If they want to keep changing dates, and then tell them, are you sure about this date? Like, are you sure? Because I can't just keep looking up dates because it's going to keep changing no matter what I give you, right? Let me scroll down. Yes, it's very annoying, and it happens, right? So, Victoria, you have a looker. You have been identified as a booker, okay? That is not a booker. And now they may book, right? But don't waste more time. If you feel yourself is getting frustrated and you feel like, okay, they keep changing it up, I'm going to tell you, I have a friend of mine, his dad somehow got my number and he wanted to look up flights. And he kept telling me, y'all, he sent me a one-way flight and said, why is the price cheaper than your flight? And I said, because if you take that flight, you're only going to get there and not return. Like, it got to a point where I just told him, I said, hey, look, it looks like you're not ready to book. I can't keep checking prices because I have a lot to do. But whenever you're ready to book, just let me know. Straight up. Don't waste your time. I get ghosted. Yes, I told them that and things. Awesome. Yeah, Anna, it's possible. Okay. So I remember when I first started, like, I know it's so frustrating as an agent when you're not like some agents. Okay. I mentor over 180 agents. I've seen some where they just start and it's like bookings are like in their soul. Like they just pop off 1,000, 4,000, 6,000, right? And then I get other agents where they're like, so I marketed on Facebook and it's not working. What do I do? Right. So one thing that I've learned is that the ones that pop off right off bat, they get overwhelmed and then they don't know how to follow through. Okay. But the ones who stay consistent with your marketing and not only marketing, but just staying consistent with who you are and with your bookings and your research, those are the people that make it. So don't be upset when you get ghosted. Realize your worth and that that person didn't value you. Okay. But that doesn't mean everybody will be that way because I've had numerous bookings since I've started, obviously. I wouldn't be here if I didn't. And there's some that work out great and some that don't work out great. And that's just life. Okay. Oh, thank you, Heather. Um, so I made a rule for myself that I won't book trips within a month after dealing with two people who wanted 21 days and neither of them ended up booking. It happens, Sarah. And that is a rule. If you want to make that for yourself, I completely understand. So for a 21-day booking, Patricia says, I thought we had to get a copy of the ID and the credit card for every booking. No. So For a regular booking, you're going to get your credit card authorization form, and then you're going to get a front copy of the ID, and then you're going to keep it on file. Okay. For a 21-day booking, if it falls under that certain vendor, they have a whole little diagram for you guys. If it falls under that specific vendor, like Vax, I think there's other ones I can't remember. You have to get the credit card authorization form. You have to submit it. And along with submitting that, you have to send a copy of their ID, the front copy. And then you'll also have to, I think it may require the back copy too. I'm pretty sure it's both, but one or the other. And then you also have to get a front copy of their credit card. Okay. If you're doing a regular booking, you do not need that. You're still going to obviously need the credit card number to process it, but you don't need it. Okay. Now, my clients, I guess they're just trustworthy because they be sending me everything. They just take a picture of their card and send it to me. And I'm like, you are crazy. What if like Facebook gets hacked? But they do. They trust you. That's a good thing, right? It's kind of scary. All right, let's keep going. So, closing the sale. Now, this is very formal, okay? I'm not going to say every sale is closed this way, but this is the formal way of doing it, okay? So, of course, you're going to deliver the quote. You can call them, you can video them, you can email it to them. I don't ever just send quotes blindly, though. If I'm about to send somebody a quote, I'm going to either call them or message them and say, hey, I'm about to send you a quote. Please let me know what you think of it and if you have any questions. So then I'll send an email, or sometimes now I do my quotes on Canva. So I just generally send them the Canva link. Okay. If it's weddings, I do it on HoneyBook. And when I do it on HoneyBook, I can see when they open the quote and go through the pages. I like that. So use whatever you want, but make sure you give them a heads up before you send it, because guess what happens? They're not going to respond to you. When we fill out the 21-day form, do we have to have it booked for us, or does Archer book it for it from them? If it's on that list, I'm pretty sure you have to contact Archer before you do anything with it. But confirm with Archer before. Just call them. 818-248 1511. HoneyBook is for weddings, Patricia. It's a proposal website for weddings. They do all your needs, the proposal, the quotes, everything for weddings. Pretty cool. So illustrate that you met their needs. That is the biggest thing that you can do for a client, because guys, like I said, they don't come to us because they can book. Anybody can book anything. They can go on Expedia and book it. They can go wherever and book it. Okay. They come to us because they have certain needs that they need to be met and they can't do themselves right now. They're probably busy or they have life or whatever. Okay. So it is our job as an agent to deliver the best customer service and to meet their needs. Mirror the client. This is a very, very big thing. Okay. First impressions are everything in business. When you first meet someone, the best thing advice I was ever given is you cannot greet everyone the same. You cannot be the same person with every person that you meet in business, because there are going to be certain times where you can be formal. There's going to be certain times where you can be relaxed. It's going to depend on that client and their vibe that you get when you first meet them. So pay attention to that. Okay. Especially when it comes to someone that you're going to be working with for a long time. Make sure you mesh well with them. Please save yourself. All right. Stick to their pace and use the same word. Even if they use a funny word, like instead of a cruise, they just call it a ship instead. They're going to go on the ship. They don't call it a cruise. Use that word. I know it's weird. It might be not the same thing and it's something small, but to them, you're understanding what they're saying. Okay. Next thing, paint a picture. What I love about blah, 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 even if you don't even know the place. Okay. I have done this so many times. One of my favorite places to sell all inclusive wise is Punta Cana. It's so cheap to go there. I like selling it. So I will go and research the all inclusive resort that I'm sending my people to, and I'll be like, oh, let me tell you what I love about this. Oh, Royal Caribbean. I've never been on a Royal Caribbean cruise, but I have one that's leaving with my client next week. I said, oh my God, you're going to love Royal Caribbean. They have the best restaurants there, and you have the unlimited dining package, which is amazing. So you can go wherever. Girl, I've never been on a Royal Caribbean cruise, ever. But they don't have to know that. Okay. That is what sells the deal. If you can paint them a picture of what they're going to do, that will help close it every single time. Okay. Sell the place, do your research, and then take them on a vacation in their mind. Create an itinerary that takes them on that vacation. Explain the exciting things that they can do, and then kind of throw the price at the end, right? But first, explain everything that you can do. So That's my tips. Now, I will tell you one thing I like about 4 ways to close a sale. I have a training that talks just strictly about closing sales. But one of the things that I like about it is that this is one of the ways that you can do it. Okay. There's 4 different ways. One of them is mirror the client, illustrate you met their needs, paint a picture, and then close with urgency. You have to close with urgency. And I probably could have added that on there, but urgency is a really big deal. Like that lady on my example where she was like, oh my God, my cruise is sold out. What do I do? Right. I saw that urgency and I ran with it. Oh, absolutely. Your cruise is about to sell out. We better book that thing right now. Okay, she booked it immediately. Not only she booked it, she booked like 4 excursions. That was a very nice check, right? So let me continue. So time loss prevention. When I wrote this, I originally felt like I was talking about one of those people, that like stand in the store when they steal stuff and then the time loss. Isn't that what they're called? That's what I don't know how to explain this to you. But essentially, I want you to learn how to not waste your time. Okay. Before you search, before you even remotely start searching, I know you're excited. You got your first client, you're ready to go, right? But before you search, please qualify. It might feel weird. It might feel like you're nervous about approaching the situation. But if you were a client, wouldn't you rather the agent just ask you instead of spending hours looking at something that you don't want, right? Like I said, second part, ask if you're unsure. You could tell I wrote these slides. My God, I'm saying it as I go. Ask if you're unsure. If you're not sure about this, that, like that tour for the Ireland. I don't know nothing about Ireland tours, but our family is from Ireland. So you would think I do, but I don't, right? So I had to ask her, where do you want to go in Ireland? Because Ireland, they got a lot of places you can visit. Okay. That's important because if not, I would have gave her 3 quotes for tours that she didn't even want to go. Charge research fees. Don't be afraid to charge a fee. Okay. They shared the YouTube for Jody in the chat. Watch that training. She is a top performer, guys. She's a top booker for a reason. And a lot of it started just like you and me. We all have these problems, okay? Even Jody herself probably still has these problems. But she learned that she is worth more than just somebody who comes and gets quotes. No, if you want to quote, that's fine. I had an agent join and I taught her how to do the quotes, okay, in charge. That girl made $250 in her first week because she just walked around handing out quotes. And she booked 3 or 4 of them, but it didn't matter because she got paid for her time. So she didn't care if she booked it. And that's a leverage for us, okay? Like, yeah, we want the booking, but at least we got paid for the work that we did. That's a start, right? Offer 3 options at first. We always call it the rule of 3. Even in weddings, the rule of 3 is very, very important. I give them 3 options. The one that meets their budget, the one that's underneath their budget, and the one that's above it. That's it. Now, if I can't find anything in between that, then I'm just going to give them 3 options. Okay. Doesn't work out like that every time. But that's what I go for, especially if it's a destination, like say all inclusive, and they want to go somewhere in the Caribbean. Where are we going to look? Well, first I'm going to go to Punta Cana because I like that place. Then I might go to Playa de Carmen, right? And then I might go, I don't know, Montego Bay. Okay. That's 3 different locations, but that's 3 different options. That works too. Right. Last thing, everybody does this, but don't overthink the booking. Okay. If you see a booking and you get overwhelmed, break it down. Break it down. You guys, everybody probably in this Zoom right now has booked a trip themselves. At some point in your life, you have booked a flight. At some point in your life, you've more than likely booked a hotel. And if you write that you did, and I don't believe, okay, or you've watched somebody do it, we're doing the same thing that we've already done ourselves. So don't get overwhelmed. What really helps me is that I will zone in and act like I'm going on the vacation. Okay. When you put it into your own perspective, you plan a way better trip because there's certain things that you're not going to put up with, right? I'm not going to put up with a 14-hour flight if I can take the 2-hour flight. No. So I'm not going to do that for my client, right? When I put that in my head, okay, now we're going to Jamaica today. So I want the best flight with a cheap price because I like to ball on a budget. Okay. I want the best hotel because I don't want anything happening to myself while I'm there, better yet, my clients. And I want all the perks. So I know what I'm going for. Okay. That's a good way to break the booking down because a lot of people, when they first start, they get very, very overwhelmed. Like right now, I have somebody that's working on a cruise, and I'm like, hold on, take a deep breath, get the qualifying questions answered, and then just search. And what you come up with is what you come up with. Okay. That doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing. That's just sometimes that's just the price. Okay. I know clients want deals and they want it to be cheap in this, but guys, we don't get paid when it's cheap. Let's be honest. If it's cheap, that means the commission's even lower. So why not try to work with those kind of clients? If you find yourself in a current category where you're only working with people who are, this is too expensive, this, that means that you're not in the right bracket. You need to go somewhere else. Okay. There's several different ways you can get clients. We all know that. I'm going to give you a good one right now. How many of you guys ever heard of a trunk or treat? Have you ever heard of a trunk or treat? Do we know what that is? Because I'm about to explain it, but I'm going to sound crazy. So basically, you sit in the back of your car and you hand out candy to kids and they walk around. It's actually a lot safer than sending them to a bunch of random houses. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm from Alabama and I live in Texas, so I don't know if that's a Southern thing, but it happened. So given that, okay, I one time told an agent, I was like, listen, just go out there and start handing out flyers. See what happens, right? This agent came back with multiple bookings. And then I later heard about it from my mentor, how another agent did it. And when she did it, she got over 60 vacation quote requests in 3 days. That's crazy, right? Something that we're taking months to do on the internet can be easily taken care of even in public. So Halloween's coming up. Go get your car and put your car out there in a trunk or treat. And I know we're all on different teams because I've opened this all the way up to evolution, okay? But you guys can give vouchers. Check with your mentor, your platinum. The marketingboost.com gives out a free voucher. Okay. Hold a raffle contest. Enter to win. Something like that. Give them vouchers. Do something. Okay. This is how you build clientele. And that's not even a big thing because you're going to get candy in the process. That's so funny you say that I have a plan for a business card with candy. Absolutely. I'm going to hand out Disney collateral too. There you go. That's it. That's all you have to do. Don't make it more complicated than it is, okay? Because if we think about it, everybody wants to travel. They just don't know how to. And that's where we're going to come in and say, here, I got this for you. Okay, here's your 3 quotes. Let's go. All right. So I think that's all I have to. Yep, that's all I have for today. So I'm going to stop the recording and then we're going to do a Q&A, okay?